Hello, Ryan again. So this is going to be part 2 of our tutorial series. So with this, I'm going to be now getting into the actual modeling portion. So this is our reference here, which is the end table, right? And we have our collection of our assets here, and I'm actually going to put all that into this collection again. And I'm going to save our project. So if we go in here and go to save, we can go in here and save our project, which I've already done that. You can name it however you like, but Control S is our standard save option. So with this, I'm going to actually, oops, there's another section that I need to put in here. There we go. Okay, now with this, I'm going to make a new collection, and I'm going to do this, name this as working 2. Okay. So now this is on, and it is highlighted, so it's going to be our reference there. I'm also going to have our object here, or sorry, our mannequin here, which has basically our scale as well, to be able to help with like understanding contextually how large something is. So in the modeling tab, I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to add a cube. And so with this, this is our primitive object. I'm probably going to make this closer to 1, which is it's a standard size. So this is 1 meter, so about 3 feet or so. So with that, I'm going to go into the orthogonal view, and I'm going to pull this up and have this be about, it's about the same size as his waist. So that'll be good there. Now, I can do this as a few different parts here. So I'm actually going to have probably the top section and then just blocking out the model. So right now, blocking out, what does that mean? That means being able to have primitives or submeshes that basically represent the different components to our object. So with this, I'm actually going to go and just take this here, and I'm going to go from object mode into edit mode. And then I will go and select this face and pull it up. So that's going to be our top section here, right? So you'll see that if I go back and put this into object mode, our pivot is actually now smaller. It's in a different location than our object, and so what can happen is that it's still going to be rotating contextually onto this. So I'm actually going to adjust my pivot. So I'm going to set origin to geometry, and so that brings it into the middle of that geometry. And so that's going to basically represent our top part there. So I'm going to see Control C and Control V to be able to paste that, right? And then I'm going to bring that down and have another section here, which is our bottom section there. And I want this to be like slightly smaller, so I'm going to hit the scale button, and I'm going to bring that down a little bit. That actually makes it like ever so slightly smaller, and then I'll do it a little bit on this one here, which makes it a little thinner as well. So you'll kind of notice that there is a difference here between, say, like if I wanted to do like just this axis, right? Or if I wanted to do like this large circle. The large circle actually does things, it scales uniformly around it versus on one axis like this, right? So we want to use a combination of both of these, and this is something that you get used to with the gizmo. So basically, I want to do like a little bit of the uniform scale going in like this. You can also theoretically also do it this way as well. So say I wanted to do a specific value. So I could go in and type in a specific value, and it would change it contextually on this. So that is a different way to be able to input values like that. So I'm just going to do it by eye though, since we're not necessarily like measuring everything out. However, you could do that if you wanted. So I'm just going to do that a little bit here and a little bit like that. So it's a little thinner, maybe a little thicker. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's cool. All right, next up, we're going to do probably this section here. So Control C and Control V, and then we'll move that up. Okay. All right, and then we'll kind of move that up a little bit. to meet that section here. So you'll see here that I want to get real precise. So I'm going to go in from the perspective view into the orthogonal view like this. And that's going to be from the front view. I'm going to put this right up next to this, right? So that will be able to have that right next there. But I'm in object mode. I need to get into edit mode to be able to move this down a little bit, to be able to get this section here. So that'll be pretty good for now. Okay, go back into object mode. Okay, so another thing is that we have these legs, right? So that's going to be a thing that we're going to make 4 of specifically. So I'm actually going to make one of these, and then I'm going to duplicate that as a group to be able to move around. So let's go ahead and make one of these. So I'm going to go and make, because like I want a section here to be like this long rectangle, but it's got like a little bit of like taper on it as well. So if I make this just a larger rectangular box, that'll be good enough for me. And then I'll be able to refine that. So I could either go and Control C and Control V this over, or I could go and make a new primitive. So I'm going to go in and add a new mesh and do a new cube. And because this is like a cube, right, I'm actually going to take this and kind of move that generally into place, and then I want to scale it. So scale this down and kind of get this into the general location I want it to be in. Kind of move that in a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to go into object mode, and then I'm going to go get that bottom one, move that down a little bit, like so. And I'll probably have to adjust some other things as well, so I'll go back and adjust this back with the geometry there, and do a little scale, make that a little smaller, so that it's right at the corner, like so. Then I need to move this up a little bit, kind of adjust. Another thing is that you have the tab button here. So right now I'm holding down tab, and this allows me to pivot to different modes on the fly. So I basically can go back and forth between object and edit mode, and that is also a number pad as well. So 4 and 6. So I'll just go there and move that down a little bit, like so, and go back to object mode. Cool. All right. Now, we have this here. So we have this complex shape here, right? So this is something that you would just generally see in your traditional like shop kind of class. Some students might not have had that in high school or middle school, but we're going to do a lathe style modifier here. So with this, how do we get this, right? We could go and try to poly model this by taking our box and then kind of like having this, let's say if I copy pasted this, right, and I wanted to go in and say add in a, oh, you probably can't see that. So I could go in here and do search and do subsurface like this, right? And this will add a bunch of extra geometry and try to make it smooth, right? And this will try to like get this kind of shape, right? And I could like go and try to refine this down, which I'm not going to do that way. I'm going to do it where I'm actually going to use a spline. So with this, I'm going to use a curve and a Bezier curve. So this basically has this spline that is in space. So this is slightly different. It's not actual polygon geometry. It is a curved surface, kind of like the pen tool in, say, like Illustrator or Photoshop. Or this, they also have this in like CAD software as well. So I'm going to move this kind of generally into place here. I'm going to move this to be 90, and then move this to be 90 this way. Okay, so I'm going to go to the front view, and you'll see this is very large. So I'm going to make this to be smaller, and I'm going to generally kind of get this into the position that I kind of want it to be in, because I'm trying to remake this shape with the spline. So I'm going to have this kind of generally towards the top, and right now in object mode, I'm going to go into edit mode, and so this has 2 points that are on a curve like this. And so with this, it basically has points, and it has handles that I can manipulate. So with this, it allows me to be able to move things around like that. So I can also add points. So if I go and press E, it basically goes and it adds a new point that I can then click, and then that'll be out in space. So I'm just going to put this over here and generally kind of get the silhouette of this, because like when we're making stuff, we want to be able to match the silhouette for things. So let's go ahead and try to move this stuff into place. So I'm going to generally kind of have these be a little smaller, and then we're going to move stuff into space. So I'm just moving and scaling and rotating. So at the top here we have these little bulges. So oops, I lost my perspective, or my orthogonal, so I'm going to get that back. Okay, move this back up, make that a little smaller. Okay, all right, then press E to be able to extrude that out again. Okay, so that's going to be 1 bump, 2 bump, like that. Okay, and we'll kind of adjust these a little bit. It takes a little bit to refine the shape, but it's well worth it to do it this way, because you can change the shape on the fly. Like that's one of the powers of this method, is that it's able to procedurally adjust as needed. So I'm gonna move that generally here, move this a little wider, like so. And then this one, move that down. This has to be this larger shape here. I'll probably have to move this also down. I'm going to move this out of the way. Move this down to here. There we go. Get that back here. Move that down. Move that once more. Okay. Alright. Move this out a little bit. Make this a little lighter. Like so. Again, generally getting the general shape of what we're trying to go for. And then go to the bottom here. And I'm just going to put that kind of close. Let me see. Do this once more, like that. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to take all these and move them up like that. Oops. Okay, this is getting closer. Alright, we're going to make this a little smaller. This one a little smaller. And we'll do a little bit more here. Generally have this about up to there or so. Alright, so this looks pretty good. I'm just going to have all of these and select all of them except for the top one and the bottom one. I'm going to move this over slightly, like that. Make sure this is rotated. Oops. Control Z. No, come on now. There we go. Okay. Alright, so with this, we want to go into our object mode, and I'm just going to save, and just Control and S, and then over here I'm going to go to think it is like lathe or screw or something like that. Yeah, screw. There we go. Okay, so by default, you'll notice that this just makes a big cylinder, and it's also not in the direction that we want it to go in. So we need to change this direction to be the direction that we want. So this is going to be on the x-axis. And voila, we have a lathed object. So with this, this is the top part of this. So we'll need a little bit more refinement, but this is in the general direction that we want to go. So on this, I'm going to go and now adjust the scale on this. So if I go and say select this and do that, I'm generally trying to get, oops, oh no, I keep pressing the wrong button there. Alright, I'm going to move that down to here. Move you over to there. I'm going to try selecting all of these again and move them up like this to get a little more thickness. There we go. That's more what I want. Okay, and I'm going to go back to object mode. I'm going to put this back towards the center of this shape here. And we'll just keep refining the shape here. Okay. Alright, and we'll put this down here, and we'll make sure these are about the same height here. Okay, make this a little smaller. Again, generally getting the shape to be similar to what our reference is. And okay, that's getting closer now. Okay, let's kind of a little further up. So I'll move that up like this to get a little bit more asymmetry, a little more weight towards the top there. Okay, so that's getting closer. It's good to be able to take your time to make sure that you're getting the right shape. So, okay, make that a little bit less. This a little further down. Make this a little less. Okay. Alright, and then we'll get this to be over here. Okay. Alright, so let's get this bottom piece here. So you'll notice that we have this like box here, and then we also have the bottom of the shape. So we'll be able to adjust. So we can maybe put this out like so. Might also just delete that vert maybe, and then re-export that out to here, and then we'll kind of go and rotate this piece out like that to be able to get the edge, the curve that we want, like so. Okay, we'll move this down a little bit like that. Okay, that's going to be pretty close to the shape that we want. So we're going to go and go to object mode, and we're going to save. And then we're going to take this piece, and we're going to copy and paste, and move that down. Okay, and I'm going to go to edit mode, and I'm going to go to the bottom here, and then I'm going to go and get the edge, or not the edge, sorry, where are you not working? There we go. Alright. Get the face and then make that a little bit more square. So we're trying to get this shape down here, which is like more the squarish shape. And we'll kind of go to our side view, and let's take a look at the whole thing again. Okay. Alright, so let's maybe make that a little further up, and we'll make this a little more squat, like that. Okay. All right, and pull this back up. Okay. So let's go and adjust the pivot point on this. So you could go and set the pivot to be to the center of the geometry, but what it does is that it brings it outside of that. So we actually need to affect our pivot a different way. So if we go over here to this tab here, there's different tabs here. And you have the origin. This will be able to affect your origin without. It's one way to affect the origin. So I'm actually going to move this up to be at the top, like so. And then I'm going to turn this back off, and then I'm going to scale our object and scale it down a little bit, like so, so that it will match the top of our asset there, like so. Okay. All right, so that's pretty close to what we need there. And then we will do save, and then we're going to do Control C, Control V, and bring that down, like so. And obviously we don't need all of this, so we're going to go in here and affect our edit mode, and then we're going to get rid of a bunch of these. So I'm just going to select these and then delete verts, and then put that there. And so this is our pivot again. We'll need to affect that back down here, and then bring that back up here, like so. Okay, so let's take a look closer at this bottom section here. So we have our edit mode again, and we'll select this and do another E for extrude that out, and then I need to be able to see, right? So I'm going to actually go back into wireframe, and then I'm going to affect this pivot, or the shape of it. I'm going to move that to be like so, and then affect the object and kind of pull it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go back here, and we're going to refine the shape. Keep refining the curve. All right, so it's going to be kind of like this, and a little bit further up. Maybe put that, squeeze that in a little bit more. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. I'm going to affect it up like this. Okay. Move this up. Move this up. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. It's not exact, but we're in the ballpark. Okay. All right, so we now have these objects here as our leg, right? So it's pretty close. However, we need to do a little bit more refinements. So right now it's about 20 minutes in, so I'm actually going to save this, and I'm going to cut this up into the next section. So I'll see you in the next video.